I'm gonna quote a reaction channel. I don't know if people love reaction channels. I honestly do love reaction channels. I honestly love seeing people's reactions of stuff like movies or TV shows. Well, genuine ones. I don't like the ones where people are like, "I'm watching this for the first time." I mean, oh shit. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's not true. But like the people who pretend they never heard Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, but clearly they have, because how the hell could you not have listened to it after all these years, since it's been plagued by movies and all sorts of media? I honestly don't understand it, but I'm quoting a line from, I think they're called struggle reactions. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna quote them on this. Grief is a motherfucker.
Journey to face the unknown and ponder the question. What if?
Salutations, everyone. I'm Nirvikoshi, and welcome back to Ponder the biggest question of them all. What if? So, goddamn, I am. This show is progressively getting more and more dark as the episodes go by. Like Captain Carter, it was more optimistic. Like it was a what if. Captain Carter was Captain America, and it played out the same as the movie, and it ended the same way as the movie in some ways. What if episode 2 with T'Challa being Star-Lord? It was it was like giving you a perspective like, oh, the galaxy's more positive. Thanos is not an evil mad titan. Well, he still is a mad titan, but he's no longer committing mass genocide. It, and everything is all good in the world. Everything's positive, but there's the catch of, oh yeah, since Peter Quill's not Star Lord, Ego the Living Planet can succeed on his expansion of his mind and killing all innocent life around the galaxy. Episode 3, where the Avengers all freaking die because Hank Pym was stricken with grief because Hope died. He lost his daughter because Fury convinced her to join Shield, and she got killed by the Winter Soldier because the Winter Soldier shot her instead of Black Widow, actually. And all the Avengers die except for, Captain America and Captain Marvel. And Loki easily takes over Earth with just a snap of his fingers because, because there's no Avengers to stop him, and he doesn't need to go to Thanos and rely on the help of getting the Chitauri to go and take over the world. This episode has to be one of the most depressing and darkest episodes ever so far in What If. And I freaking love it.
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy.
Before I get into spoilers, let's do the non-spoiler breakdown review of why I love how dark this episode is. So, this is about Doctor Stephen Strange. My opinions on the Doctor Strange movie are kind of mixed. It's an origin movie, obviously. I did love the idea of using like the mystic arts. I love that that was a good introduction to that there is more than just what the main Avengers know of, basically. And I love that there is that concept of knowing that they could time travel. There's like different dimensions they could go to. There's a lot of like consequences to a lot of spells if done and properly, and they could cause a lot of like problems, like destroying the space-time continuum or reality itself, basically, like destroying it. And there is like consequences to that and problems with that, and it was shown in the movie when Strange had to fight like Mads Mikkelsen in battle because he was trying to get Dormammu back to go and destroy the world, to actually make it perfection, to get unlimited power. But that didn't work out for him that well, as well as other Mads Mikkelsen movies where his eyes are always damaged as all hell. Seriously, he always takes the roles where his eyes are damaged. Now, as it's true that the whole what if, it still plays out the same way as the movie. But even though it still plays out the same as the movie, there is a difference actually to that, to the one beginning of the film. Because in Doctor Strange, Stephen was being a dumbass driving his fast freaking sports car in the highway, and he's just looking at medical records like thinking, ooh, I could do this, ooh, I could do that, when he should have been focusing on the road, and losing his hands in the process. Well, losing control of his hands because he starts to shake and struggle. He can't do precise surgeries anymore like he used to because now his hands are shaking, it's struggling. He can't work them the same way he used to before the accident. And he starts to go and look for answers to seek what he could do, what he can do to fix his hands. And he's driven by his ego. He's driven by his just doing this for the sake of like his career as a surgeon, his career as a doctor. That's all he is. It's just his ego that's driven him to learn the mystic arts. And once he starts to realize there's more to just what he can do to help people as a doctor, he instead was like, I'm gonna help people as a sorcerer supreme from now on. Which he starts to let go of his ego, and he's like, you know what, it's time to be a better man. And he does, which is pretty good. But what if one small thing happened? It's always one small thing. So what is it this time? Well, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart and not his hands? Now, I was like curious to wonder what the heck was this episode even called. I tried to look, but the guide didn't say the full title, and I was like, well, what is it called? And I had to look up online what it was called, and immediately when I saw he lost his heart, not his hands, I immediately thought, oh, they're talking about what if he lost the love of his life, basically.
I see you on your back. There's blood everywhere. You're holding your own heart in your hand.
Strange loses Christine, Rachel McAdams' character, and yikes, Rachel McAdams in a movie or show where she gets freaking fridged. I mean, seriously, like, damn, like, she got fridged hard in this episode. Not just once, twice, no, 3 times. No, okay, every time that Strange kept going back in time to try and keep her alive, she continuously dies in each predetermined moment. She keeps dying no matter what Strange does, no matter uh, how much he could change. Strange would go back in time constantly to save Christine, but she will always continuously die while he stays alive. And yeah, because in this universe, the one small thing that changed is that Strange convinces Christine to join him at his dinner party, basically, where he's gonna give his big speech. He somehow convinced her, and I guess dessert convinced her, and she dies during that whole entire car accident that happens in the movie. Only he's not distracted by anything, just a minor traffic collision with some unknown driver, probably drunk, driving head on towards them and immediately swerving their car and falling into the river, and her dead from something that killed her in the crash. Probably something stabbed her through the heart, probably. And Strange, stricken by grief, even though he defeated Dormammu, he stopped the apocalypse from happening. He it was still depressed. He was still sad. He still felt loss, basically. And he is now wondering, should he go back in time to save her? Or should he put the past behind him and just let it go? And sadly, he doesn't. He goes and tries to fix everything. He tries to keep her alive, but she can't. And that is before the episode even continued, I just realized yeah, it's kind of like I don't know what episode it was, but there was a show I watched or it was a movie I watched where someone was trying to bring someone back to life, but every time they kept trying to, it didn't matter because they kept dying no matter what they did, no matter how hard they tried. They couldn't keep the person they cared about alive. It was similar in a way, kind of like the Supernatural episode, the Groundhog Day episode, where Sam tried to keep his brother alive, but every chance he tried to, his brother still died constantly over and over and over and over again, no matter how hard he tried to keep him alive. And he doesn't know what is going on or what's happening. Kind of like that, but there's a better example out there of someone who's trying to keep someone alive, but no matter what they do, they'll still die, and they'll have to come to grips and learn a lesson that they cannot change fate. And that is the very messed up part of this episode. It's like learning that you cannot save someone you love. You gotta think, what's the worst thing? Not being able to change the past, or being able to change the past, but there are consequences to that. And this episode does answer both of those questions, which is worse. And I like that. I think this episode has my favorite artwork, my favorite background artwork. Seeing the library of Cagliostro, seeing the Sanctum Sanctorium in New York. I love all the background art in this. I think it's my favorite in this entire season. And I think this one's the best animated out of the last three, honestly. I think the animation's really good in this. And seeing all like the different kind of evil like creatures, that strange faces in this episode. The action is pretty good, seeing two sorcerer supremes duking it out, fighting each other, which was really cool. I loved that. It was really well animated, and honestly, the art design, the artwork, even like the dark, like evil, like looks they give to this one character was amazing. I love that. It was really cool seeing this episode. I just loved it. It looks so freaking gorgeous. It looks so beautiful. Even the library of Cagliostro was like this big huge library in the middle of like the forest in some different country, showing all the ancient texts that were lost in time, because there were reasons why they were lost, and I think they were lost on purpose, because these are some pretty heavy books that mess with like the space-time continuum and reality. Like these books were not meant to be seen by people from the future. These were books that were made to, like, you know what, we should just destroy these books. Those books have to be dangerous to keep for someone who could like go and do something because of their own, like, oh, I want to like defeat someone, or I want to bring someone back to life, or I want to do something to gain ultimate power. Like they it's these books are like the worst. And I think I like that about the movie, is that there are people that would want to use these illegal books and use them uh for their own benefit, for their own self uh worth, basically. I mean, you could destroy the books, but I think that those books are important for some things, like for some certain things on occasion, basically, in case something bad happens. But I don't know. It's like there are purposes to those books, and they do have warnings that consequences can happen, and and if you use these powers, it's gonna get worse from there. And that is a big lesson in the Doctor Strange movie. Read the warnings after learning these spells, because you're gonna probably regret what you're gonna do after you complete the spell or perfect it. And this episode does show those consequences, show the problems. It is horrifically dark, and you think that the episode was going to be positive, like a lesson is learned here and everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. No.
No, 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 no,
no, no. Okay, spoiler warning, where I get more explicit, more detailed to put my criticisms and point across, because, if you haven't seen the episode yet, do not go forward. So, basically, Strange, all the creatures I say he faces in this episode, he's facing all these demonic, evil, like, creatures from different dimensions, and he has to learn to gain their powers in order to, like, be able to manipulate time to bend at his will, so he can bring someone back, someone alive, basically. And that person is obviously Christine. And uh I'm guessing throughout the years, because apparently the bookkeeper of the library he starts to grow old, and Steven somehow is still the same age he is. Um, he is gaining all these abilities, these powers from different creatures, from different dimensions in order to go back to a giant tentacle monster. And I don't know if it's the same tentacle monster from the Agent Carter episode, but maybe it is. But it was also a powerful being, a powerful beast. And he wanted to get more power, get more like power to defeat this tentacle monster. And so he does. And now he's happy that he's gonna finally go and bring back Christine back. But the librarian, the keeper, the bookkeeper, basically, he says, like, he tells Steven the truth about things. He warned him in the beginning, like, like you can't just you are you sure that this girl is worth it? Are you sure that she's worth risking everything for her? And Steven says he that it is, that she is worth it. And the bookkeeper is warning him, like, he's telling him, I've learned to let go. I saw that there's no way what I could do could help fix my broken heart. And Steven's like saying, like, are you saying this from experience? And then the bookkeeper's like, I'm saying this because I started to face life. And the bookkeeper is basically essentially saying that's life. Like, people die, or people are gone, or they live or die, and because it's all part of the plan. It's all the part of the plan in life. Everyone is predestined to pass away one way or the other. And this is the lesson he's trying to teach Strange, is that you gotta let the dead be dead. Like, you can't do nothing. Like, that's everyone's fate. Everyone's fate is passing away at one point in their life, and that's it. And I like that it was a lesson that this guy keeps telling him, because it's something that Strange needed to learn, is to let go and live your life for the people that you cared about. Don't be sad that they died. Just be happy that they did existed, that they were alive, and then you shared good memories with each other. And hell, you can reflect on those good times. But remember, it's the past. Like, you gotta live your life, you gotta move on, you gotta stop chasing ghosts, you gotta say, you know what, it's time to stop living in the past and start living in the now. And that's the lesson that this bookkeeper was trying to teach Steven. But Steven, he didn't listen. What I like about this episode too is that the Watcher even feels like he has the need to warn Steven. He has the need to stop this and tell him, look, you can't do this. You could fuck up the entire universe if you do this. But the Watcher's like, I can't. I can only watch it. I cannot interfere. I cannot stop him. And the Watcher's like, besides, I don't think he'll listen to me. And I love the Watchers more interactive in this one, because it makes sense. Because, of course, Steven or the Sorcerer Supremes from that they would have connections to the Watcher. Of course they could see him. Of course they would know about him. Like, it does make sense that who could see the Watcher? Who could actually see him from that far a distance watching us? It can't be a normal human being. It can't be probably a god of thunder, but obviously a sorcerer could see the Watcher because of the ancient text. probably talks about him, probably knows about him, and knows, because if the ancient text knows about the Infinity Stones, of course they're gonna know about the other beings from different universes, from different dimensions. Of course, they're gonna probably know the Watcher. There, kind of pretty cool. It makes sense that the Watcher would be more talkative, more kind of interactive to the story, to the plot line in this than, say, the others, because he's just sitting there watching everything unfold. I mean, hell, he sat through like the entirety of the universe where the Avengers just straight up died in the course of a week. And he's like, I could do something, but no, he's just there in the background, looking, watching, seeing all this shit happen. Because he's the Watcher. He cannot interfere, he can only see the events unfold. Oh, but it's later learned, since Strange doesn't learn, doesn't listen, the Ancient One did prepare for this, where she two, split the one reality into two, and she put like two Stephen Stranges in the same universe, with powers from the dark dimension, of course. And the Ancient One has a Strange that learns that he has to put the past behind him, and then we have a Strange that doesn't and wants to bring back his lover back. And because the Ancient One believes that the only person that could stop Stephen Strange is, well, himself, because he's the best. Yes. I love one scene in this, because I told you, like, two Sorcerer Supremes fighting each other, it was just the same guy just fighting himself. I love the comparison of both Stephen Stranges. One who's got his life together, the other who is too drunk on the past that he just wants to gain more power just to bring back someone he loves. And I think a lot of stories been there where a villain is trying to bring back someone they love, and they end up looking like a horrendous monster. They seem unrecognizable. I don't remember what movie done that or what show did that, because I remember a show or movie, and it was in a Cartoon Network. This was a kids show or a kids movie or something, and it ended dark for what it did. I can't remember it at the moment, so that sucks. But like, I remember something like someone bringing back someone they care about, but they're unrecognizable because they look like a horrendous, hideous monster, and the person they are in love with sees them that way, but they're trying to convince them, hey, it's me, listen. And then they ended up killing themselves because they fall off a cliff or something, or they're not looking where they're going, and then they end up falling to their death. And that person who has spent all that time gaining that power, gaining this unlimited power to bring someone back, they just end up being unrecognizable and just being seen as a monster. Oh wait, I think it was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where Kingpin was like trying to get his like wife and son back, and then he's like beating the shit out of Miles Morales, but the alternate universe versions of his wife and son see him doing that, seeing him become a monster basically. And he's like, no, please don't go back. No, please come back. It's me. You know me. And they just ran away. I think that's what I'm thinking about. And I think it's similar to that. Yeah. And the same thing happens here, because you think that the actual Doctor Strange, the one that's got his life together, would defeat him, but he loses and he starts to merge with the evil Doctor Strange. And what I love about this episode is that the two capes fighting, like the other Doctor Strange has his cape fighting the other cape the other Doctor Strange had. And it was so funny seeing these two capes beating the shit out of each other. It was like the best scene. And the other cape saves Doctor Strange's life in a bit of a self-sacrifice, because like the evil Doctor Strange kills that cloak, and then he starts to consume Doctor Strange, and he starts to gain his full potential, his full powers to bring back Christine. And he does. He accomplishes it. He's gained all the power. He destroyed the entire universe, the entire world, just to get her back, only to see that she is suffering. She is slowly dying as well. Like, she's slowly turning into nothingness at this point. So Strange is like seeing, like, oh god, what have I done? And there's this blackness, like this dark, gooey blackness that starts consuming the reality, and Strange is trying to stop it. And he sees the Watcher, and he's like, you can help me, you can fix this. And the Watcher looks at Strange like, bitch, you caused this yourself. You had every opportunity to stop this, but you wouldn't listen. And then Strange is like trying to convince him to punish him. Like, you're a god, right? And the Watcher is like, I am not a god. And if I did have the ability to punish you, I would. But you both know, if I interfere with your universe, the whole entire multiverse would be at risk as well. And the Watcher just freaking pieces out and it's like, you're on your own, bitch. And then just leaves. And you see Strange stuck in this crystallized, encased bubble with Christine. And he's the only one that's not affected with this black darkness that makes people disappear and die, because he has gained all that ultimate power. He has gained all this abilities, all this power that he's consumed by different beings from other dimensions, and he's just trapped there in the darkness. Nothing but a dark hole of depression. Like, literally a depression hole that he can sulk in, realizing what he did was bad. And I love that. I love how sad this ending is. I love how dark this ending is. Like, it's not happy. There's no positive or happy resolution to it. It just ends in sadness. And there's a multiverse out there. There's another universe out there where Strange destroyed the whole realm of reality just so he can get his love back. Only sadly, he did get her back, but only for a few minutes, just to see her scared of him, but not just scared of him, also talking to him and telling him why. What have you done? And then he has to sulk, realizing he should have let that shit go. Yeah, grief is a motherfucker, man. It really is. Of seeing someone who wants to bring someone they want back, or they start to go on a killing spree of revenge because they lost someone. People handle grief in different ways. And this episode shows like, what's worse, seeing that the love of your life was predestined to die no matter what you do to change it, or just turning reality and bending it to your will to bring back someone in the past alive, but risking the entire universe because of it, because you want to bring someone you love back. And I love that episode answer those questions, because I was thinking that, like, man, if this was different, like, what's worse, changing the past or not being able to change the past? And I was asking those questions while I was watching the episode, and they show it, and I was like, oh damn, that, that is amazing. I love this. I love this show. Cause the first episode was meh. Second episode was amazing. Third episode was Jesus Christ. But this one got heavy. This one got heavy so quick. Cause since this episode is not like the third one, and I think this one is better than what if the Earth lost its mightiest heroes, because in that one there was comedy, there was levity to it. This does not have any levity at all. This episode is just pure depressing. It's just so depressed. Like, seeing a man determined to bring back someone he loves only to lose it all again and be stuck there alone by himself to sulk and sit there questioning what the fuck he has done, instead of just letting it go, probably meeting someone else, just living their life, basically. I just absolutely enjoyed this. I did like the murder mystery episode. I thought it was cool seeing, like, oh damn, the Avengers are getting killed. This is fucked up. Not as fucked up as this. Being stuck in a universe that you destroyed, that you caused. Nah, I don't want to live that timeline. That would be depressing as hell. I'm wondering, if this is gonna be like a trend, like every week each episode gets more and more darker as the series goes on. It makes me wonder that, like, how dark is the show gonna get? Because at first I was reluctant, thinking that oh, they're probably gonna mess up Marvel Zombies. No, I'm more confident now that they're gonna do Marvel Zombies justice. Because seeing this episode and seeing how depressing it was, I honestly have faith in this show. I mean, yes, you have not given us our the Fly version Spider-Man episode, because you thought that was too body horror, that was too dark, and I'm mad at that because I really wish that we did get that body horror Spider-Man episode of What If. This is the worst thing about me reviewing stuff. It's like I go on tangents, I start to struggle with me speaking a bit. I mean, I have gotten a tiny bit better with my reviews over the course of this month of August, and now we're getting into September, so I say I'm kind of improving on my reviews and doing better by saying, like, maybe I should do a second take. Maybe I should just do uh another take on things, or I should just redo the video altogether. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but sometimes I love the struggling of me trying to talk about an episode, but also trying to fix myself and stop myself and pause the video and say, okay, think clearly on this, think right about this, and try to express your thoughts perfectly. Say, And I'm honestly proud about that with my Free Guy review. I was proud of that. I did a second take on that, as well as I'm proud of my second take on the episode 3 of the What If episode I did last week, because I was like thinking, I'm not confident on that one. Let me do a second take on that. And I was happy I did. This one is entirely the first take where I'm taking advice of what I did in those previous reviews, of trying to keep things contained, but sometimes I can't contain myself and I like to talk about the episode and I love to talk about, oh shit, what happened here? And just to express how I felt, what I loved about it. But, saying how much it was one of the gorgeous looking episodes I've seen and the most depressing episodes I've seen. And it's probably my second favorite. I think so far it's my second favorite, because my first favorite is still if T'Challa was Star-Lord. I still love that episode. I still love how interesting that episode was, of like, yeah, things are all positive, but then you realize, oh shit, not entirely, because because you changed that one small thing. But yeah, I did love this episode. I enjoyed it. I loved the depressing struggles of Doctor Strange wanting to bring back his love. I loved how depressing it was, and I loved how much Doctor Strange lost his way just for something he craves, wants, that he's so selfish of wanting to get. I do love that. I do love there was no happy resolution with it. I love it's depressing, because it now shows like, this is what you've done and now you gotta live with it. I do enjoy that. And maybe it's because the reason why I love dark endings a lot more than happy endings is because maybe I just love to see more like depressing endings to stuff more than happy as of lately. I don't know. Maybe because it's the emo goth side of me that wants that depressing look of, what if this shit happened? But I do love a happy ending. I do love a positive outcome in life. Not in life and in movies as well, but I do love to see the darker side of things and see like, but what if it went like this? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, add that to the clue thing. Woof. Yeah. But anyway, I'll try to make my review of Mortal Kombat shorter and tight and concise than this. I'll try to do that and make sure it's a shorter video than this. But thank you guys for watching. If you love this, thank you. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you are watching this. I hope I am doing well. I hope that I'm doing great, pushing out this content in and doing what is great to make this channel grow, hopefully, and making my fan base grow. And hopefully everyone is happy, and if everything is great in your day, I hope you have a great day. I hope everything is great. I think I'm going to include something else in my outro. So thank you, Wolfpack, for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And ciao, darlings. And remember, you are loved.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!